Hello, everybody, and welcome to the All British Motocross Podcast from the Dirt Hub Network with myself, Ben Rumbold, and Dirt Hub boss and founder Paul Ooten. Looking forward to a fantastic weekend of action ahead. We have got the Arenacross final in Belfast Friday and Saturday night, rounds 2 and 3, to bring that series to a close. And then, the big one, Hawkstone International, the Ashbrook Hawkstone International, this weekend, of course, in Shropshire with an incredible lineup. Too nervous. I couldn't sleep last night. It's just not happening, Paul. Don't know if I'm going to sleep between now and Hawkstone. I've got to cover the Arenacross press releases and be on the microphone at Hawkstone. So getting involved. Can't wait for it. And what a great podcast we got ahead of us as well.
You're making out that you've got a hard life.
Okay, guilty as charged.
But right, just before we get onto it, right? If anybody's feeding Ben in the commentary box, do not give him Nice or Nice biscuits. He's got a problem with them, all right, and he will choke, and it won't be good for the commentary. Any other biscuits or cakes are fine, just not them.
I need to stop talking to you.
You hate talking to me off air because I always bring it in.
You always bring it back into the podcast. I've not learned my lesson. This is right. Yeah, I just had a choke on a nice biscuit because I'm just an idiot. I know they do it to me, but there we go. But we have now established that we should ask our podcast guests about biscuits. So never mind. We've done 2 interviews now for his podcast already, so we'll have to introduce that to the next one. But I mean, motocross, Paul, All British Motocross.
Okay. Oh, is that what we're here for? I forgot. Yeah, Hawkstone International, love it. Yeah, God, like the lineup. You know, I just, do you know what? It's a boring thing, in it, because you say stuff every year like the biggest ever and whatever, but Jesus, like MX1 this year is just unreal. MXGP, the World Championship, is going to be unreal in MX1, obviously, and this is just a nice precursor to that, like where we see some real big hitters doing battle, for the coveted Hawkstone International trophy, and we've got a super final which mixes our MX2 world champion with our MX1 one, and loads of British riders as well. And we're talking about the 125 class. Obviously, we got to do some predictions for that, and there is so much young talent in there. It's really difficult to pick some riders, but the 125 class last year in the British was unreal because we were seeing such talent emerging. So like all the way through the races is going to be unreal. And our predictions are just really tough. Mate, honestly, my predictions are all over the place. So I'm really not prepared for it at all. But yeah, big weekend coming. Loads going. It feels like this weekend is the start. We've got British Extreme Enduros this weekend as well, although they have already had a round. But it just feels like this is the weekend where everything starts. We've also got Le Touquet as well, and obviously Todd Kellett going for another title. But it's also part of the Sam Races World Cup as well. So we've got Harry Walker in the quads. We've got Todd Kellett, quite a lot of other British races. So it's just tons going on this weekend. It sort of feels like it's massively come to life.
Yeah, this is the one I've been looking forward to all winter long since I got the commentary gig. I mean, Hawkstone is just, I have always wanted to be in that tower for the international, and to get in there at last, I'm absolutely buzzing. Like I say, couldn't sleep, like literally last minute, couldn't sleep last night. Just right, get up, go through the history, do some research, and get myself set up. So I'm going to be ready. I can't wait for it. So we got 6 world champions on the line in MX1 alone, with 12 titles between them. Incredible, and Simon Langenfelder as well. So we got the 2 number 1 bikes, and they will both be wearing number 1 as well. Fevre and Simon Langenfelder, the 2 reigning world champions from MXGP and MX2, and it is the first time that the reigning champions from those classes have both been at Hawkstone. Yes, in 2002 and 3 we had, I think, all 3 world champions with Dobb, Pichon, and Everett. Of course, they were 125 and 250. So yeah, all right, it's picking hairs, but long story short, for the first time in over 20 years, we've got more than one defending world champion there, and we have got such a lineup of everybody. I mean, I would pay money just to see Kaiser Wolf on a 450 for the first time, let alone everybody else that's going to be in that class. So yeah, it's going to be stunning. But yeah, I mean, we've got two fantastic guests as well with us this week. So we're so excited. We've almost forgotten our guests here, Paul. We've got the two wearers of number 32 for this weekend. So we've got Brent van Doninck from Fantic Factory Racing MXGP. Great to have him on board. Of course, just staying in the Jackie Martins team that was Honda before, but now picking up the factory Fantic setup. So that's really cool for him, and always goes well at Hawkstone Park. And then, of course, yeah, Calum Mitchell, who finished off the season with a fantastic overall win at Ling in the British Championship. So, yeah, Calum Mitchell, the other number 32 from the MX2 class, will be joining us as well. So we'll speak to Brent very soon. But, after we speak to Brent, we'll do some MX1 predictions. But let's just go through that lineup again, Paul. MX1, I mean, obviously the headline, we've got to talk about the number one, Romain Febvre, Kawasaki Racing Team, the factory squad, with Paul Jonas as well, the 2017 MX2 World Champion. So, yeah, those two guys, the ones that are really staying where they are from last year in MXGP, obviously the same for Lucas Coonan. But, yeah, how much advantage will that be for Febvre and Jonas coming into Hawkstone on the same bikes as last year?
Yeah, and I think you can, there's a lot to be said for that, isn't there? Staying with the bike, that comfortable, and the confidence, let's be fair, you come off the back of winning a world title. And, I know Lucas is not there, but Lucas is saying, when we're looking at the World Championship, sorry, those two riders were so good at the end of the year on their bikes that they've been riding. And yeah, I think that's, everybody's testing at the moment, aren't they? There's a lot of testing, especially, Jeffrey Hurlins and Tom Vial, a lot of testing for them coming on. Whereas Roman and Paul's, they're coming in pretty well-rounded on their machines already, So that must pre-season must be a lot easier for them, and maybe not quite as important for them as it is going to be for the likes of Tom Vial and Hurlins, and obviously we've got Calvin Verlanderen in there on the Ducati, and some of these other guys out there that are riding new bikes. Alberto Ferrato's in there as well. Ben Watson as well, on that Triumph, which I'm sure everybody's excited to see. Maxime Renault still there as well. I think he's one of those guys. I think he's a bit of a dark horse as well. But yeah, the list is stacked, and I'm excited to see the British guys. Obviously, last year was a big one. We really wanted to see Conrad Mewse over in the States and wildcards and GPs, and we didn't quite get to see it. But you know what? We got a pretty good chance here to see Conrad on a track that he can ride very, very well, mixing it with the world's best. But we also get to see the dynamic of Ben Watson and Conrad Mewse. We get to sort of match them two up ahead of the British Championship to see, because we don't really know, who's going to have the edge over those two, do we?
No, it's going to be fascinating, that one, because, this is definitely a precursor to the British Championship, which is exactly 1 month later. On the 15th of March is when that starts at the same track. So, yeah, they will both want to be putting serious markers down. And, just having a look into things as I did last night in my little research session that happened, thanks to the cat waking me up. We got there. 2022 was the last time Ben Watson rode this event. He was 5th in the MX1 class and 2nd in the super final, behind Glenn Coldenhoff. So that was pretty sweet for him. And then he's also got 4 years or so in the MX2 class before that. So yeah, Ben has got history at this class, but because of the beta thing, they were down in Italy, so he hasn't been here for 4 years. So it's going to be great to see Ben back in the Shropshire Sands. And similarly, Conrad Mewse going for Arenacross in recent years. This will actually be his first time racing the Hawkstone International on a 450. Because the last time he was there was also in 2022 when he was on an MX2 bike and he took the overall win. 4-1 he went. Second on that day was Kaiser Wolf with a third and a second. Third on that day was Tom Vial with a second and a third. So that's the two guys he's going to be racing against on 450s now. Were directly behind him when he last raced here on the MX2 class. Kaiser Wolf and Tom Vial also have not been back since then. So they are also making their first appearances on a 450 at Hawkstone. So there's just so many juicy little subplots to this. Like you said, the British Championship story between those two guys. And let's not forget Oriol Oliveira as well, coming up to the 450 on the Gabriel SS24 KTM. Third overall at Alghero in Sardinia, ahead of quite a few top boys on debut. So pretty sweet for Oriol Oliveira. I think he could well be a factor as well. There's just contenders everywhere you look. What do we say about Tom Grimshaw on the last podcast when he said, like, I wish they'd sort of calm down with all these riders they're bringing in. But it just doesn't end, because you got the Fantic boys. Obviously, Brent we're going to talk to in a minute. Alberto Ferrato is a big strong rider. Had a podium at Mantova last weekend in the Sandy sort of going, so that's great for him. And then also you got Calum Mitchell on that factory Ducati. He was 6th overall last year, and he also got a 4th place back in 2022, which is his previous time at Hawkstone. So Vlaanderen is no stranger to Hawkstone, very good in the sand. He could well be a dark horse, and it'd be great to see that factory Ducati up close and personal at Hawkstone as well, because that's a gorgeous machine. And really nice for him to be joining us. But and we haven't even talked about Hurlings yet. Jeffrey Hurlings on the factory Honda. There will be an announcement this week on a brand new sponsor. So although Hurlings and Vial both rode the bikes at Mantova last week, they will look different this weekend. I cannot say anything. I know, but I cannot say anything, or Honda will kill me. But those bikes will have a nice big sponsor on them this weekend, and it'll be the first time we all see that. But Vial has been solid in the pre-season races. Hurlings had his issues at Mantova, but at the end of that second race, just watching it through, he really started to put the hammer down. So I didn't really have Hurlings in the top 3 until I saw the Mantova race. And the old style started to come back. So I think it's going to be it's going to be massive to see how he gets on. But Renault, Fevre, Hurlings, you got to say the main contenders. Vial is going to be very interesting, and De Wolf. I mean, De Wolf could wipe the floor with everybody. It's just he just can't wait for this.
De Wolf. The big question mark for me out of all of this is Tom Vial. I'm just not sure. I think he's been away for quite a while. He's riding a 250. He's changed bike. We saw what change a bike did for Prado. After being so long with with the KTM sort of group. So I'm not sure on Tom Vial there. That's one of the most interesting riders I'm looking to see, to be honest, because there's so many question marks on it. A couple of riders on the fringes, I think, but could put in some very good results. Start dependent, but Josh Gilbert and Adam Sterry are 2 British riders. And again, it's going to be interesting to see, because they are, we've got what I would class as our 5 British Championship contenders. And like I said, exact month, we've got Oriol in there. We've got Conrad. We've got Ben Watson. We've got Josh Gilbert. We've got Adam Sterry. Those 5. And it's nice to have 5, isn't it? We've got 5 real credible British title contenders in the MX1 class. So, we're going to put them all together, mix them all up with some world-class riders. And that's going to be interesting to see. And I just got a funny feeling on Adam Sterry this year, to be honest. I just I don't know. There's a quietness coming from that camp, but I just feel it's a confident quietness. Does that make any sense?
No, absolutely. I mean, he is just about the only one to have competed in the Hawkstone International entirely over the last 10 years. He's been there every year. Obviously 2021 it was cancelled, but apart from that, he's been there every year. 2nd overall with a race win in 2019 in the MX2 class, behind Max Anstey. So sorry, no, Max was on the MX1. I can't remember who was he behind. Okay, that's a gap in my research. Never mind. So Adam has got great history at this track. He does like the sand, and I think it's going to be a real factor. Don't forget, he lives and practices out at Lommel. So for Sterry, this sort of punishment is something he's very, 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 very well used to. So we shall see. I can't wait.
No, it's going to be exciting. There is a couple of riders here. Martin Barr, is in that lineup now. He's got one heck of a weekend, isn't he?
Yeah, 2 nights in Belfast, straight across.
And auto dad. Like, it's not even just that he's riding, is it? He's
Yeah, no,
riding, he's an auto dad, and then over to Hawkstone. Retirement for him, look. That's what retirement looks like when you're Martin Barr.
at 39 years old. I mean,
Yeah.
that's great work.
Yeah, I'm not going to do a lot this year, just take it easy. Yeah.
I
But
mean,
yeah.
going through, you said about the names there. I mean, a little note on Vial. I think he's very easy to be underrated. I think he's been underrated all his career. Lots of people spoke about Geerts and everything, but don't forget that Vial took 2 titles off Geerts, and he was also a small injury in 2021 really prevented him challenging for that title. So I think Vial's got more than a lot of people think. But yeah, I mean, you got quite a few good stories in there. Tony Craig is riding, the Scottish veteran there getting stuck in. Ben Edwards as well, another Scottish rider getting in there on the Absolute MX KTM team. So that'd be great to see what they can do. Rowan van der Moosdijk actually won a race back in 2020 on the MX2 and the Husky. So yeah, for sure, Rowan is no mug around here. Oriol Oliveira actually hasn't raced this event at all ever. So that's a potential wild card there. Reece Jones. Now, I think 18 or 19 years old at the most, definitely still a teenager, and he's there now on a 450 Honda. I'd sort of spotted the white plates on it, so that's pretty crazy. Nicholas Vennikins was in GPs last year in MX2, goes up to MXGP. You got the Swedish rider Leopold Ambjornsson, who's a really nice kid, really cool guy. And yeah, he was prevented from making his MXGP debut last year because of injury. So he's back in again. He's on Hondas now. So we'll see what the Swede can do because he's certainly a talent as well. And yeah, some great British riders there. We've got Bailey Sutting getting stuck in. Freddie Bartlett is making his 450 debut, so that's going to be good to see on the 772 Kawasaki. And then you've also got the likes of Jaden Ashwell on the AJP Triumph, who's going to do some GPs this year. And yeah, he's going to be in there. But yeah, for sure, there's stories everywhere you look. Obviously, yeah, Jamie Carpenter, Tom Grimshaw, they've been all out on the boot camp, the Stephen Sword boot camp this week out in Ireland. So they've all been putting some serious work in the sand. Yeah, it's everywhere you look, there is talent, and it's just going to be an absolute banger. I can't wait. Can't wait.
And our guest that's just coming on in a second, Brent van Doninck, was a podium man in, was it 2023?
Yeah, he's third overall in 23 with 3-4 finishes, second in the super final behind Coldenhoff. And also he won the second race in 2022. So he has actually won a race around Hawkstone as well. So yeah, he's a talent. He's a good lad, and yeah, can't wait to speak to him.
Yeah, well, I think it's a good time to head on over and chat to Brent van Doninck.
Okay, so we're here with Fantic Factory Racing man, Brent van Doninck. So yeah, Brent, looking good in there, the new Fantic gear there. So of course you've changed brands, but not the team, still Jackie Martins. So yeah, how has your off season been with the change in machinery, if not changing team?
Yeah, first of all, it's always exciting to get on a new brand, new colors, and actually like how this turned out couldn't be better for me, staying with the same people, same team, but then get a factory ride was, yeah, I could not think of a better outcome for me, So yeah, I'm extremely excited to yeah for 26.
Nice one. And yeah, of course, the Fantic brand had a good year last year with Glenn Coldenhoff getting the bronze medal, third for the series. Andrea Bonacorsi was always up there, even Brian Bogers at times. So yeah, the bike is obviously capable. How have you been feeling with it compared to the Honda? What's it like compared to, because you've been on Honda for quite some years before that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was 3 years on Honda with Jackie. So of course you had it took a few days to adapt, but I feel like I always adapt pretty quick to a new bike or something new, and straight away from day one I really liked the bike, and it was actually quite late that I tried the bike because everything with all the so many riders swept team and so everything took really long like felt like everyone was waiting for the big guys first to see where they were going, and then so everything was quite late, so there was actually quite some time between riding the Honda for the last time. Like actually, Turkey was the last time I rode the Honda, and then I think it was like October, November that I rode the Fantic for the first time. But yeah, I felt pretty good straight away, and I also didn't have any doubts about the bike because last year they proved the bike was really good with some hole shots and just like seeing them ride from besides the track or so yeah, I really didn't have any doubts, and I really wanted to to get on this bike, and until now everything went really smooth actually. uh, uh, it's actually been a while, so now being a factory rider, it's been a while that I tested so many different things, so that's pretty cool.
Good stuff. So you got a real box of bits to play with. Then you've actually, you are now leading that brand on its way.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't feel like I had to try that many things because, like I said, the first setup they made me, I felt good right away. So I'm also like, at one moment when I feel good, I'm not a person like I want to keep trying new things and stuff because it would just, I don't know, it makes you. I don't want to have too much stuff on my mind. You have to also get used to something at one point, So at the moment, no, I feel pretty good.
Yeah, and you've got the new AXO kit coming through, which I'm excited about. I mean, that's a brand that I've really liked for a long time. So, yeah, I mean, how nice is it when that box comes in, gets it all sorted for you?
Yeah, so they've been away for a few years now, so they had to change some things and get the sizes right, and because like these days everyone rides a little bit more slim fit, and so back when they were still in MXGPs, everything was a little bit more baggy and loose, but no, they made everything look really nice now. Some nice colors, and yeah, like I said, I was always a bit of a fan of EXO also, because they had quite some big names back in the days, and no, I really like the new kit. Yeah.
Nice one.
Yeah, no, we were saying a bit earlier about doing the old school thing. So like when you're a kid, you get up, you get all your new kit and you dress up and stand in front of the mirror and stuff. Did you do that today? Because you received loads of stuff today, didn't you?
Yeah, I received some stuff today. Uh, just the jerseys actually, because they had to still print, or yeah, the some pants. It's actually like a special kit for a GP this year, and but yeah, like you said, like still feel like a little kid, like when you receive a box like this, you want to try it on, and I'll show it to my girlfriend and say, yeah, take a picture, see how it looks like, and yeah, it's always cool still.
Yeah, nothing beats it, does it? A fresh kit, and yours is even fresher because, like you said, the AXO brand's coming back. I remember that. Is it the bullet holes was one of the best ones, wasn't it?
Sorry?
Bullet. Yeah, there's been some real like legendary AXO kits. During that. Do you think they might bring some of them back, like for a retro weekend type thing, like they do in America?
Yeah, maybe I feel they still like the retro designs. So yeah, that would be cool, like an old Bradshaw kit or something, That would be sick. I didn't see that many things yet, like designs yet that they are planning to make, because they even want to keep it a little bit of a secret for the riders too. And I like that, to arrive on a race and get to see the kit for the first time. But yeah, I'm sure they will make some nice stuff this year.
You're far too young to remember Damon Bradshaw and Jeff Stanton, I'm sure. Come on.
I saw pictures and movies and clips.
Now I
So
feel old. Now I feel old. So you've got Hawkstone coming up. That's your first preseason international, I believe, isn't it? You didn't race Mantova, I believe. So yeah, I mean, are you ready? How are you feeling fitness wise and stuff like that?
Yeah, I actually did Alghero the weekend before Mantova. I didn't race Mantova because my plan was to do Alghero, Hawkstone, and then Lierop. So that's already 3 pre-season races, and that's why I decided to stay home from Mantova. But yeah, Hawkstone Park is actually one of my favorite tracks. Been racing this track already for beginning of my career, like always the pre-season races. I did race it one time in the summer when I was riding for the ASA United team, and it was the English Championship. But what was with COVID, so it was like an MX National. That was actually the only time I rode it in dry conditions, when the track was really good. And but yeah, like I said, I always look forward to Hawkstone Park. Last year didn't go like I was hoping for. I fractured my my femur again. But yeah, I'm always looking forward to this race.
It's so much different in different weather, isn't it? I mean, yeah, I've ridden both, and it's like, yeah, the summertime Hawkstone is another animal altogether. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a different track. It gets quite hard packed some places during the summer, Uh, much more high speed, of course, and scrubbing jumps that you never scrubbed before because it's always wet. But no, that was cool.
I remember you had a really good ride. We got a podium in 23, and I remember you just hassling Febvre and Hurlings, getting right up in amongst them there. Do you think there's a level where you might be like just giving it that little bit more when you're around those guys at the international, where maybe they're being a little bit more careful because pre-season, but you're a bit more like go for it? I mean, yeah, how much were you really pushing then? Because I just seem to remember you flying into the bomb hole thinking, this guy's going for it, man.
Yeah. Well, it depends a little bit, like where you're in, and like in what position. Like if you're buried in the pack, then probably you wouldn't take that many risks. But if you're up front and you feel good, like why not? Why would you not push it a little bit? It's also a good test, to see how you feel. But still, like on these preseason races, like in the back of your mind, you're a little bit, yeah. A little bit careful maybe, Also, these preseason races are always so special. I think that's why the results are always so up and down, with many of these riders because it's most of the time it's wet, it's muddy. It's also a different schedule, with the super final and stuff. So it's just a fun day, but results wise, you can't really tell like who is feeling good and who is going to do well in Argentina, or it's always a special period.
On that note, how much do you take stock of your own performance from a pre-season race? You know what I mean? Do you sort of, if it's not gone quite so well, do you sort of say, yeah, well, I was getting used to this, I was trying this, or do you sort of look at it and go, well, they were going really well, I need to, up my pace? How much, do you take from it for you, going forward into the MXGP season?
Yeah, well, I had years that I did so well in the preseason races, and then I arrived at the first GP, and I just got smoked. I was like, man, what the fuck? Like you're like surprised, and I had years that I was struggling a little bit in the preseason races, and then the first GP I did really well. So I don't want to think about it too much about the preseason races or I mean, it doesn't always say or tell like at what level you are, but of course it's always confident wise, if you do well in the preseason races, it gives you that extra boost a little bit, of confidence, but it doesn't always mean that you're going to do well at the first GPs. It's just a good test to see how everything feels like in the race conditions, like suspension and setup, and So I don't want to get too excited when I do well in the pre-season races, or same in the other way. If it didn't go like I wanted to, don't worry about it, and start again, from a fresh layer in Argentina. But like I said, if you do well in the pre-season races, it always feels better going to Argentina, confident wise.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I said, it's always nice to rack up a good result. In terms of the Hawkstone International and the Hawkstone track itself, it holds a special place in British motocross history. Do we're talking about sort of going back and looking at the old Axe kit and stuff. Do you sort of know or feel the importance of the venue and this event?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I wish we had actually more GP tracks like this, like old school tracks. It also suits me better, I feel like tracks like in Turkey. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it, but I also understand why. Like tracks like in Hawkstone Park, or there's maybe still like enough parking place, on the grass field, but MXGP got so big with all the rigs and the trucks, and like it's not about the tracks anymore, really. But I always loved this iconic tracks like Hawkstone Park, or I'm actually really excited to go to Fox Hill also this year. I've never been there. Saw a lot of movies of it. Looks old school, so yeah, I like it.
Nice. You're saying all the right things, Brent, for sure. That's you want to get the fans on board that one. Your press officer said you were a good kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in contact. They were. I mean, Fox Hill, like you say, I mean, incredible place. I mean, to me, that's my mecca. It's about an hour away from my house, less than that, and I barely missed any GPs at all through the '90s. I think I just missed the 125 one. So yeah, I'm thinking you like the Hawkstone Hill. I think you'll be okay with Fox Hill. I think
Sure.
So yeah, I mean. In terms of terms of the bike, obviously Alberto got the podium there at Mantova, so that's got to generate a nice feeling around the team. Alberto is such a character. I mean, what's it like for you with him around? I mean, have you trained much together? Have you shared much stuff? I mean, I think you're similar. You're similar heights. I think he's maybe got a few pounds on you, a few more kilograms. But what's he like to as a teammate so far?
Yeah, he's really cool. Like I knew him already from before a little bit, but not that personal. So we spent 3 weeks together in Italy, even shared the room, so you get to talk about a lot of things. And I mean, it was nice. He's he's a cool guy, a hard worker too. So and looks like he feels at home on the bike. It's a very powerful bike, and he's a big guy, so he can handle it. So no, like these 3 weeks in Italy have been really cool, really nice. Made a lot of jokes, and it was fun.
I mean, you've both coming back from. I mean, obviously you've had I mean, the 2024 injury was really bad for you. That was a really bad episode, and I remember. Sorry to name drop, but I remember Jackie talking about how difficult that was over there in Argentina. But you said, and also Alberto had such a big crash where he had springs on his ribs and all sorts of horrible stuff going on. So both of you have had like a lot of injuries in the last few years. So this has got to make this sort of chance to be a factory rider again and get some great results. That's got to make that all the sweeter, surely, when it starts to come through.
Yeah, me and Alberto, we are a little bit in the same position, the last few years, like in and about injuries. I mean that, like, I feel like both of us the last 2-3 years couldn't really show, like, in like what we are capable of, especially at the end of the year, like the championship results. Like at the end of the year, they still look at the championship and see what you finished. And for me, the last 3 years or even 4 years. Yeah, I mean, but still, like when I came back, I always showed good stuff. But this year, I really want to have a good end result, you know. So staying healthy is going to be important for me this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a stacked class as well. I mean, you know, lots of noise about, you know, how many world champions, how many GP winners are in there. So, I mean, I guess the pressure's almost off for you because, you know, great results for both yourself and Alberto would almost be a surprise just in this company. You know, no offense, but, you know, you've got so many big names there, like, you know, the MX2 world champions moving up, all sorts of different things, Viala coming back. But yeah, for you guys, I guess you can just like concentrate on getting what you can get, and you know, good top fives has got to be a fantastic result for either one of you.
Yeah. This year is going to be wild. Like, I mean, you can finish in 15th and still battling world championship riders, you know, or like world champs. Like, yeah, it's going to be hard. Good starts are going to be important. And staying healthy, because if you see like the last few years, not only me, but it's getting hard to finish a whole season without having one small injury, or, you know, of course there are different levels of injuries. Like mine, they were really bad, you know, that took me out for a long time. But yeah, staying healthy is going to be important for everyone, I think.
Nice one. And then yeah, like I say, you've got Fox Hill coming up after later in the year, and a few more new circuits. I mean, they've got another new one in Argentina, so back down to Bariloche there. So yeah, I mean, it's an interesting looking season. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, Fox Hill, sorry, is one that I really look forward to. Yeah, in Argentina, new track again. I didn't see anything of the track yet, actually. But yeah, I mean, I heard it's going to look good. It's going to be a good track. So yeah, I'm excited.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I think the atmosphere is going to be the one thing, you know, because we've seen it at VMXDN. You know, I think the atmosphere that's going to be created at a GP is going to be unreal. And I think that is going to be something, you know, I know you guys are used to racing in some of the French GPs and stuff, but, you know, there is something super special about Fox Hill because of that. You know, does that drive you on, you know, that fan interaction and the noise that they create?
Yeah, for sure. Like these GPs are always the best. Like you have Ernée or Saint Jean, Matterley also actually. Now Fox Hill. I think Fox Hill will maybe, yeah. You know what, with Matterley Basin, it's such a big place. Like you don't really it doesn't really feel like it's crowded, you know. But still, there are a lot of spectators. But yeah, these GPs, for sure, as many fans. Yeah, as possible, the better, you know, like GPs in Turkey when you're just riding there on your own. I mean, especially if you crash like in the first turn and then you're like all alone, you know, no one in front of you, no one besides the track. That's weird. Like it's like it feels like you're somewhere at the practice track, you know. And so yeah, I'm a big fan of these GPs always, like the iconic tracks and places where we have a lot of spectators.
Cool. And looking back, you know, you spent your time, like you said, with the AC United team in the UK. You know, do you look back at riding in the UK with fond memories?
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed that year with Lee and everyone else. Like that was a fun year, even with COVID and that the British got cancelled. We only did the MX Nationals, but no, I actually really liked also like even the MX Nationals, how it was organized. You know, it actually felt like a GP organization. You know, even better maybe sometimes. Nice tracks always. Tracks are always well prepped. So yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll do another season. You know, when I'm done racing GPs. I don't know.
Well, the people that run the MX Nationals are now running the British Championship. So and the British Championship is looking pretty darn good. So, maybe a couple of wild cards this year.
That will be difficult, I think, because with so many GPs, we already do the Dutch Master races, so our schedule is pretty full. But yeah, maybe who knows? Maybe one or depends a little bit how you feel also, like mentally, like if you're not burned out and if you don't need a weekend off or free, it's quite a travel also to come over. But to race a British will be difficult.
No worries. Well, it's a shame. I mean, obviously we've got a few wild cards happening this year with Jeffrey, so that's going to be quite cool. And you got that nice sort of 3-week break in the GPs. There's a couple of British GPs,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah, maybe, yeah, that's true. I forgot about that, about the little summer break. But not everyone is like Jeffrey. Yeah, he want to race all the time. Like I do feel like sometimes I need a weekend off. Like I think 90% of the riders.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Good stuff. So, any sponsors you want to thank there before we wrap things up, Brent? Anything you want to say to the fans likely to come to Hawkstone?
Yeah, actually, I would like to take the chance to thank my private sponsors also a little bit. Like they've been behind me for almost all my career, and I'm just really excited to come to Hawkstone Park. I hope to see a lot of fans, familiar faces, and I'm excited.
Nice one. Anything from yourself, Paul?
And I was just going to say, looking forward to seeing you racing. Another podium would be nice, wouldn't it? That would start you off the season really well. But I know, in terms of the weather in the UK, it's been pretty grim for just week on week on week. So with the MXGP season as it was last year, you must have plenty of practice in the wet at the moment.
Yeah, actually, last year I missed a lot of the muddy races because I was injured, and it was like the first part of the season. Portugal was a wet one. That's where I stepped in, and then Spain. But luckily I missed like Spain and or like the other one in Spain. The
Kozar.
first, and what else was it? Like Saint Jean was pretty wet too, right? Yeah, I missed that one. So and for Hawkstone Park, I didn't even check the weather yet. I'm not going to check the weather. I'm just gonna go there and because it is what it is.
You don't need to check the weather because Ben has commented. I'm not sure if you've realised, but since Ben started working for MXGP, it's literally constantly rained. So generally, where Ben goes, it rains. He's commentating. Don't need to look at the weather.
Just gonna grab the roll-offs and everything. I mean, some foam for on top of the helmet, and just go there full prepared. Yeah, I'm not checking the weather.
Does it make a big difference to you if the hill is in or not?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool if the hill is in. Always like the hill, the long drop down. So yeah, I actually did quite some years. Like actually, the last 3 years we did the hill, right? Like almost every year. And before that, I think 2 years in a row we didn't do it. Like we got right halfway. But I hope it's in.
Fingers crossed. It's always the big question. Like online, everybody always asks, "Is the hill in? Is the hill in?"
Exactly. Yeah.
Great stuff. Well, hopefully, Brent, I'll be speaking to you over the weekend. I mean, like I say, I'm on the microphone, so I might come roaming around with the mic to chat to you at some point. But
cool.
and hopefully on the podium maybe at the end. That'd be quite sweet, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'll be cool. Yeah, sure.
Nice one. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Brent. It's been a real pleasure. I hope you have a good afternoon at Lommel, if there is such a thing. I mean, that sounds like hell on earth to me, but I'm sure
it's a lot of fun. I love Lommel.
Nice one. This is good. I love Lommel. That's like the guy saying I love sharks. I'm cool. Nice one. Thanks so much for joining us, Brent. And all the best. We'll see you at the weekend. Take care.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Catch you soon.
Okay, massive thanks to Brent Van Doninck and to the Fantic Factory Racing MXGP team for arranging that interview with us on pretty short notice. So great for Brent to join us there. And yeah, we wish him well. Going to be great to see him out there. So then, predictions. I didn't want to make the predictions before we spoke to Brent because, like, that's just unfair. But yeah, what are you going to do? You doing top five?
Top five. What is on it first? Because I was going to say a crate of beer, but your body's a temple and stuff now, isn't it? So, Tom Grimshaw wouldn't like that.
Crate of beer is fine for me. I'm good with that.
Crate of beer, okay.
Your body's a wreck at the moment.
Well, yeah, body's a wreck. Yeah. Non-alcoholic? No, I will have it. Sod it. You know what? I will revel in my glory.
Are we talking like an 18 can pack? Yeah.
Yeah. Go for it. Yeah.
Oh, all right. I'm on that. Then that'll go with the stuff. That'll go with the pizza that you gave me from Arenacross.
Yeah. I'm looking good on that. I'm looking good.
I think you're right.
Okay. Right.
MXGP. Okay. International class.
Oh, man, it's so difficult. Okay, go on then.
Drum roll. Go for it.
Am I going first? Am I?
Yeah, mine's written down. It's not going to change. So okay. Yeah.
I'm going with Ben Watson.
Ooh.
British Hope. Just got a vibe about him. He's another rider that's super quiet, isn't he? Super quiet, but sometimes quietness rules. And I think, he's going to come good.
Yeah, absolutely. Last British winner was Max Anstey in 2019 in the MXGP class. Obviously, Conrad won in MX2 in 2022. But yeah, just thought I'd pop that in there.
Oh, okay.
So you've got Ben Watson. I'm going to go for my mate Brent. Van Doninck, I think, will sneak a fifth. I think that'll be about right.
Do you know what? I nearly did have that. But yeah, in the end, I just had a little. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I need a Brit up there, and I've got faith in Ben.
You started the All British Motocross Podcast. I've got the Belgian guy on it. You still flying the British flag. That's absolutely
always, mate. Always.
Okay, fourth.
I've got Jeffrey Hurlins. I'm not. I think he might win race 2, or he might even win the super final. But I think overall, I think he might have a tough race 1, and I think that will hamper him.
Yeah, I mean, only just been out of the gate by Tim at Mantova, so yeah, we'll see. And he got nudged off the track, so we couldn't really tell what was going to happen. But yeah, there we go. I'm going to go with Kyle Wolf in fourth.
Okay, at least we're going to be completely different. I
do think, I think De Wolf is going to be one of the fastest out there, but he does have a habit of tipping off, and I just feel that might happen around Hawkstone on a 450. That's all. Sorry, Kai. Love you, but no.
Okay. Third, Maxime Renault.
Mm-hmm.
Two solid races. Nothing spectacular, just solidly fast. Like you said, he's not got any sort of cobwebs to blow off. He's just going to be solid.
Okay. I'm same argument, really. Roman Febvre third.
Okay. We are going to be completely different, which is great.
Yeah, Febvre hasn't been out on track much. Well, I think this is his first international. No, he was at Balance. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not Balance, the other one. He was out on the French international at the weekend, and but I just think third is absolutely solid. There, Roman's just going to be a slow burner, but maybe a race win, but I'd say third overall.
Okay. Well, I've put him up one higher because I put him in second. So similar, 2 just good results, maybe a win in a second or something.
Well, I think I know where you're going. Right. Okay, I've put second overall, number 84, Mr. Hurlings.
Okay.
Just looked so good that he dropped his lap times by 2 or 3 seconds at the end of Mantova. So I feel like that's him getting the Honda dialed. So that's what I'm thinking.
Interesting. Okay. Well, my number 1. You think I know where I'm going? Shall I let you guess it, or shall I just say it?
Kind of all.
It's got I just think he's just going to be so good this year. I just think he's going to be. I don't know. There's something about him on a 450. I just think he's going to be unreal.
And he has been practicing on it for well over a year as well. I remember speaking to him in 2024, early in the season as well. We spoke to him from behind the gate, and he was already playing on 450 then. So I think I do think he's. I would not be surprised, right? We got Monster Energy back in with Tim Geiser, and and also with Febvre. but I could see that, you know, the other drinks company is going to be at the top with Lucas and Kai for the year. I can see it happening. But
Right, we've got no ties to anyone. What's your favourite, Monster or Red Bull?
I'm not saying a word.
I don't suppose you can you?
I could be fined.
I can't be fined. Can I? Can anybody find me for saying?
Okay, moving swiftly on. You got Kai the Wolf. I've got Maxim Renault.
Okay, I'm going to say Red Bull, by the way. I prefer Red Bull. Not that I drink much of it, but
Monster Energy Yamaha. Maxim Renault. All right then. So there we go.
Yeah, Renault. Okay.
Renault won the second race last year, and he is, I think, he's got a point to prove. You know, guys who's joining him on the team, there were rumours he wasn't going to stick around because of that, and he did. So I think he realises that staying with that team is his best chance of getting that world title, and I think nothing would drive him better. He really does back himself when he's not injured, and he's had so many injuries in the 450s since he moved up after winning the MX2 title in 21. I think that Renault is, like you say, very much a dark horse. I might be proven wrong, but I think for the weekend, Maxim is the one I can see doing it, but I can see all sorts going on. Interesting. None of us have got VL.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, some of the riders that haven't made the top five, Valandron, VL, obviously Paul's Jonas in there. You know, we haven't got, you know, Comrade there. But yeah, you know, there's quite, you know, when you name it like that, the top 10 is going to be full, isn't it?
You can pick your names out of a hat and still be absolutely wrong, or be spot on. You know, it's absolutely wild and wide open, and I love that so much. Although, of course, Vial was second overall at Mantova, so maybe we are just being a little bit harsh on him. But yeah, we'll see. It's going to be massively entertaining. Right then, MX2.
MX2, not quite as deep from an international standpoint,
No.
but very deep in terms of our British Championship contenders.
Yes.
Which I think is going to be interesting because we have got a good batch of riders coming through, which is very difficult actually to pick between them over a year. Do you know what I mean? Because we saw quite a lot of, you know, of our sort of younger British riders having some standout races and some not so good ones. And I think we're in for an absolute treat in MX2, you know, like we were last year, but this year even more so, because you know, we've obviously seen Tommy do his stuff. We've got Orel moving up, but I just feel this next batch of riders are just going to start to edge over Tommy a little bit. I might be wrong. Tommy proves me wrong every time. Anyway, but I just feel there is some real talent that's going to start to shine this year. And that is what excites me about this one. Plus, we get to see those guys against world champ Simon Langenfelder and Mattis Valland, who is just super talented.
Yeah, let's start on the rise, Mattis Valland. It would massively surprise me if he didn't win any GPs this year. I think in that class, we've just got Langenfelder, Liam Everts, and Sasha Coonan, who have won GPs before, lining up in MX2 World Championship wise. And yeah, Valland, the bike is getting better as well. And yeah, I think he's a real talent. So we'll see. He was untouchable at Hawkstone last year. We had David Braceras second and Bradley Mesters, the EMX 250 rider from Belgium third, with Musto the top Briton fourth last year. But yeah, for sure, Valland, he's got that experience from last year. Langenfelder hasn't got that, but then Langenfelder was so fast at Mantova at the weekend that yeah, I think that he's looking to dominate MX2 this year, and his jaw is set. And after starting 2025 really not sure where he would be, I could see him being a real force in future years if he can build on this, dominate MX2 this year, and then move up from there. So yeah, this could be the start of something big for Langenfelder. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, he's a nice guy. He's good to talk to, but he's now got that tough edge to him. So, yeah, Langenfelder for sure is a talent. And the other GP rider in there, although he's not on the OAT list this year, is Jens Volvort, who's been racing GPs for the last 2 seasons. Very good in the sand. He did race in the EMX 125 at Hawkstone going back to 2020 and 2019. So he has raced the International before, but not at this level. So, yeah, Volvort, very strong Dutchman in the sand, classic sand man. Had a mechanical breakdown at Mantova, actually, so they've been busy this week replacing a bike going on. But, yeah, Volvort for sure will be a force to be reckoned with, I think, this weekend. And then, yeah, the Brits, it's some established stars, the likes of Joel Ritzy, Calum Mitchell, who we're going to talk to in a second there. But also then we got some great young riders coming up, haven't we, Paul? We got like Charlie Richmond, from up from the 125s, Jamie Keith, and Keith and Richmond went 1-2 in the 125 class last year at Hawkstone. So both of those two moving up to MX2 now. Going to be great to see how they get on. And then we've got like kind of the second year guys as well in MX2, the likes of Billy Askew, Ollie Colmer, although he's more like third year, but you've also then got Ben Musto, there's Joe Brooks as well. You've got such a batch there that have got high hopes for them. But one rider that I think could spring a real surprise is the 555, Cole McCulloch.
Yeah,
he's moving into that into the 250s for the first time. If he can string it together, he's a real talent. So yeah. It's fascinating. MX2 is fascinating to see how we get on. Jimmy Margetson, I just noticed on there, is on the AJP team. Going to be backing from Guy Martin as well. So Jimmy Margetson is going to get stuck in. Yeah, there's a lot going on in MX2, and it's going to be a real treat.
Guy Dunson's another guy in there from the Gabriel SS24 team. Obviously, a year now of British Championship racing under his belt, so he knows the deal. Josh Vale, second year as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Sorry, Josh. I completely missed your name.
Yeah. Jamie Keefe. Yeah, there's a lot. Jamie Keefe won at Preston Docks at the weekend. I think he shared race wins with Rhys Jones, interestingly. So there is some real interest. Davey Pooches is in there. Gavin Stevenson did pretty good last year as well, like you said. So there is some there. Lewis Hall I see in there. So nice to see Lewis back at it. But yeah, that next batch of young riders, it's going to be interesting to see how they come through. Interestingly, I spoke to Craig Chamberlain earlier from the 772 Kawasaki team, and he says they haven't had time to do their photo shoot because Joel's been so one the weather shit, but two, Joel has just literally been on the bike and he feels really good. And they've picked up, and it will be announced after this podcast goes out. So they picked up a big sponsorship deal with Bridgestone as well. So they're pretty pumped, and high hopes for Joel and the MX2 team of the 772 Kawasaki squad.
Yeah, class winner at Hawkstone in 2023 in MX2. So it wasn't a massive amount of competition, but yeah, he did win it. So interesting. Yeah, so the field pretty well stacked in MX2 there, and actually want to mention that I just popped up in my head there. Ventislav Toshev, a Bulgarian, who's actually fifth in the MX 125 last year. He's also moving up. I think I remember Jack Brennick interviewing him on the podium last year, talking about a Bulgarian from the 1980s. But yeah, so he's also getting stuck in there. So yeah, it's truly international. There's South Africans in there, Tristan Duro. Yeah, it's a proper good field. So without any further ado, let's introduce our next special guest here, the other number 32 in our show for today. Okay, we're here joined from expressly from a studio in Norfolk, or is it a Ford Transit? Not sure. Yeah, with Calum Mitchell from the Worx Scaffolding Total Triumph team. Have I got that right there? So
yeah, powered by MXOLOGY. So
welcome to the show, Calum. And yeah, how's preparation going for Hawkstone? Is the first big obvious question.
Yeah, it's going all right. I've done much more training and riding compared to last season before the international. So because we've obviously started the year how we finished off, sort of thing, with a good setting with the bike and good confidence. It's always nice to finish on a win. So I'm coming in with a little bit more preparation. I wouldn't say as much as what everybody else is doing, but sometimes everyone's a little bit different. Somebody like myself, too much of something's not so good. So like, I just kind of keep teasing myself, do as much as I want to do, and everyone's understanding. So we've done a fair bit. We've done a lot of sand riding, so I'm kind of looking forward to this weekend. If we get a couple of good races under our belts, a couple of good starts, and and we might be able to pick up a few little things ready for the season to start at the same track in a further month's time. So yeah, everything's going all right, really. Everything's going well.
Nice one. You got quite a decent record at Hawkstone as well. Of course, you're a 5th overall in MX2 last year, so a pretty decent run there. Got a few extra bits of competition for you this year with obviously a certain world champion joining the class, and Jens Volvor as well. We'll be interested to see how he gets on. But yeah, in yourself, obviously, yeah, you know Hawkstone very well. You've had some good runs there, so yeah, and how things going in terms of the team and the bike, and you feeling confident for the new year?
So yeah, like to be fair, I don't really. Every year I look at the international. I never really zone in on the rider lists, but I know obviously there's a couple fast riders turning up. But I think some fast riders turn up, and then there maybe some people don't do it this year. Like there's always a good lineup for the international, but not everybody's at 100%. So you kind of just got to take it as it is and stay in your own lane. So yeah, like the bike's really good. I'm really happy with the bike. We've changed a few little things, suspension and we've added a few little things to the engine just to make it a little bit better, even though it was unreal at the end of the season. But we're always looking to progress. Sam, the mechanic, he's always looking to progress the engine from MXOLOGY. The team are backing it also. I can't really complain, really. So we'll just sort of see how everything goes. Yeah, like leading up from October, from the end of that race to December, I had a lot of time off just to get back to normal life. And but it hasn't. That feeling's not gone away. So going into Sunday, I'm feeling much better than what I probably would have previous years. Like last year, we went on a standard engine, and my starts were terrible, absolutely terrible. So, and I still managed to 5th overall. So, if I can get a couple of good starts, and mix around tag along to some of them faster riders, we'll see how we go. With all us British boys, have got the experience of the international and the track itself. So, I'm not taking nothing away from some of the European riders, but sometimes we might be a little bit more settled in compared to some of the new guys coming over. So we'll see how we get on. I think, like I say, like Oliver last year, like at Ling, it takes him a race to sort of settle into the track because it's a new track to him compared to me, where it's on my doorstep. So, and some of the other tracks as well. So we'll sort of see how we got on. Just a warm-up race really for us and the team, because we've changed slightly. We've got new mechanic on board from MXOLOGY, Sam Yates, and so there's a new part of the team there that I need to gel with, and we got on really well, so that's good. And obviously, coming in from a good end of the year, the team, we all want to start strong, so we'll be good. Confidence high, so we'll be all good.
Cool, and that was one of the things when we chatted last year. A big thing for you was like a bit of a mindset change. You said you were all in before. As not that you're not committed now, but you were proper all in, like it was everything. Whereas now, as we know, you got the day job and stuff like that, and the pressure come off you. And last year, it definitely, when we first spoke, you would sort of, it was to see how that would work, but it obviously did work for you. Now you've got the really good results from that. Are you sort of trying to keep that pressure off you a little bit, or is it crept a little bit more back in because you have that result? Is it, you know what I mean?
It's 50-50. I think it's 50-50 because the monkey, what they say, the monkey's off your back sort of thing. I've won the race. I've done a good champion. I've had a good year. I think that really boosted me up into the British Championship overall standings. But it's kind of one of them. I've got it off my back now. I've won a race. Like not being funny. I actually really enjoy riding the bike again. If not, I wouldn't be doing it. And it went because I won that race. I was really happy at Duns the round before, so I was having a good time and things were going really, really well. So like moving forward with carrying on, the mindset's the same. I'm not too worried about it. I'm quite happy if that's just one race that I've won. I've won one race, you know, like that's more than what a lot of people have done around here. So I'm quite happy with what we've achieved, and that's kind of how I am without being too big-headed about it. I'm quite happy that I've won a race and I had a really good overall. But like I probably Sunday morning might be, or Saturday might be a little bit different when a few people who I don't always see come over to me and start talking about it. The confidence is going to be high, but I won't let that pressure get to me again. I had that a long time for a few years, and it really, really gets to your mind. Like it's a massive emotional roller coaster, and I won't ever let that get to me again because that affects everybody and it affected me really, really bad. So I don't like that. That's a negative about the sport in any sport. So I won't, if I can block that out, which I am, when we'll just stay level-headed and we'll just take one race at a time and see how we get on. That's kind of how I am. I've had enough time for that meeting to sink in. That was unbelievable, really. It come out of nowhere, shocked myself, and so like for me personally, I've had time to let that sink in now, and I'm ready to go again.
So that just before Paul's next question there, just to clarify for people listening, that would be where you won the final round of the British Championship. You went 2-1, took the overall, and I just noticed that you knocked yourself up to 6th in the championship because you were
I was down, yeah.
a lot of people. So that was a real nice finish for you. So
we had quite a few little problems with because the bike was developing. We was developing the bike, so we had a few little issues leading up to it. And there's nothing wrong with everything. Like I'm really, really happy on my Triumph, but we had a few little problems where nobody talks in the British Championship paddock, and we had to learn these problems ourselves. So we were coming across them ourselves, and we've finally got it sorted where the bike's strong, and we just like I say, it was building, and some of them issues we had affected my championship standings. I think I was outside the top 10, but then obviously I've come in with a good meeting at Duns. I think I got like an average of like 5th or 6th overall, and then I bounced back again with obviously the 1-2 or for the 2nd overall, which then put me right where I should be, if not even more. I believe I can be, if I'm more consistent, I can be on a podium a lot more, and I think I'll enjoy being on the podium a bit more, and that will just that was people will like that. I'd like that. There's nothing more I want in racing than be on the podium every weekend, so I think everybody wants that.
I think looking at and speaking to yourself, and I spoke to you last year, like there's a real positivity about you, but also your team, like they seem to be absolutely love being back in the British paddock, and I think that must be nice for you, and that must really rub off as well.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's a weird one. This is probably the last time. Well, it won't be the last time I talk about Ling, but unfortunately, the Dave and Sean that own the team weren't actually at Ling, so the buzz around it, they're still so buzzing, and they should be, because they're small. We are a small team. They pay for everything. Realistically, we've got a few little bits here and there that we get, but they should be proud. I'm proud to be a part of the team, and this is what I like to do. I like to build these teams. I like to build part of the team, and they've fully committed to me this year. It's just me on the team, so it doesn't matter. Like there's no more pressure there. At the end of the day, I'll race and I'll do my best, but we're all on the same page, and like the team and that they've got a great personality, and we do get on really, really well throughout the season. So I think that's number one goal is for everybody to be on the same page. And at the moment it's difficult because we're coming off a race win, but there's been a number of winners this year in the MX2 class, so it's not like we're just going to win a race and get loads of budget. Because it's so frequent now, so many different people have won a race. It's hard to get that budget, I believe, in my mind. If that was 10 years ago, you know, if you go win a race, you know, the budget would be different, but we're still struggling a little bit. I ain't going to lie. We are still struggling, but we're getting to these races, we're doing these things, and the team are supporting me and putting me first. So I appreciate all them guys doing it, and yeah, we'll see how we get on.
Yeah, sorry to chuckle when you mentioned the team there about Duns, because I'll never forget getting around to you guys at the Dirt Hub video, and yeah, you're all wearing the jock.
Yeah, they flew up. This is how this went. So the team were planning on moving, like traveling up on the early Friday morning, and then I'm at work saying, me and my friend, he's going to drive me. We're going to go up there. We're going to go up there about 2 o'clock-ish, leave like 2 o'clock. So we're going to be late that night. And then I got a photo of them in Edinburgh City, or I think Edinburgh, I think it was, at like 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, you guys flow, like, because they come from like near Plymouth, sort of between Taunton. So they flew from Plymouth to Edinburgh or whatever. So they were like, they were on it, like they were happy all weekend. They were like, they're going around the city getting these hats and stuff, like, and they really set the scene for Duns, you know, which is quite good. And following that, they wouldn't let me drive on my own because obviously Cornwall, Landrake, I had a bit of an incident on the way to Landrake where I had some sort of, you know, I was not feeling very well and I ended up being in hospital. So they were like, you ain't flying, you're being took there and brought home back. And I was like, wow, like, I feel like I'm being chauffeured here. But we had a mega weekend. We had, you know, you could tell by the photos, you could tell by the atmosphere. We had a good weekend. It didn't matter if we didn't win. 5th, 6th, 7th, we was there. And that was a good meeting. That was probably what set me up for my home race at Ling. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was good event, that Duns double header. I really enjoyed that.
I think they should do more, but more double headers. I don't know how it works with tracks and commissions and stuff like that, but not being funny, we're getting paid double the amount because we're getting 4 races, so we're happy. We're happy. Obviously, there's a little bit more expenditure for the teams, but I'm not being funny. Like, we put a lot of effort in anyway, so I'm pretty sure they should maybe add a few more, maybe not this year, but maybe thinking about it, if they can get a good track facility where we can do 2 days, 2-day formats, then I'd be well happy.
Yeah, the 2 days always good fun, isn't it? Like, it's like it makes
more of a weekend vibe, and you know, you go to the ADAX, you go to the GPs, you go to the Dutch Masters is a 1-day event, but still a mad big events. But you know, them 2-day meetings really set the scene, and maybe spectators feel like they're getting more for their money as well. I don't know.
Maybe like they could do it so a track so that the tracks change slightly each day. Do you know what I mean? Like if you
do. Where did they do? They did that one year. I don't know whether they've done that at Duns. They've done a few little. Yeah, they did. They made a little change at the top of the hill. I think they did, but which was good because it made the racing even better on a Sunday. But like, obviously, people like Tommy and that, they're not really going to enjoy having 2 days racing, and probably 5-6 years come down the line for me, I probably won't be enjoying 2 days racing because I'm going to be getting old and tired, and you know, muscles are going to be hurting. So, but yeah, it's one of them really. I think I'll be happy with it, but I mean, they need to get. I honestly think they need to get tracks like Matterley on the board. I think that'd be good.
Oh, well and truly. Yeah, I mean, that would be, I think especially if it's not being used for a GP, like, you know, that it's going to waste for a whole year. Come on, let's just get a top class event there, at least the British Championship would be stunning.
That would be outstanding. That'd be mega, but all good.
There is a charity event, by the way. So Hampshire Motocross are running their cancer charity meeting.
Oh, really?
Basin, yeah. So once this year, people will be able to race it, and they raise a lot of money for a good cause. So if you do want to ride Matterley,
Hampshire
MXC, I think they are on Facebook. Yeah.
Cool. Free shout out. Yeah, I'll be there.
Calum's going to get his entry in. Brilliant.
And the entries will go. I think they favour club members quite rightly. But you know,
100%. That's where their audience is at, and it'd probably be, you know, the track wouldn't be as like the Grand Prix, but it'd be a good feeling for club riders to experience that anyway.
Yeah, it should be good. Well, you know, in your later years, if you do get a little bit tired, you can always go back to your speedway, like, you know, 60-second races. Although people don't realise how knackering full 60-second races are.
Yeah, like, to be honest with you, I'm trying to forget about this bit. I'm not doing it this year. Obviously, last year I was doing that as well as a lot of other things, and it kind of ruined my year. Not ruined my year, but I was just lost. I was like losing my head a little bit, like running around trying to do this, trying to do that. I actually ended up signing for 2 leagues, Leicester and Kings Lynn, so I ended up doing quite good. And I did really enjoy it. But the problem is, for me personally, if I'm going to commit to something like this, I can't take too much on. Like, I've just got a house and stuff. I don't really want to be committing and running around all the time as well. So yeah, like I've still got all my stuff. So maybe in a couple of years' time, we might be able to take a little comeback. But at the moment, that is we're swiping off the cards for a little bit.
Nice. I can see a pattern emerging here. I think we should do some sort of dirt bike all stars like event. You know what I mean? Because Dan Bewley now racing Arenacross and stuff like that. You know,
it's funny. I caught up with Dan Bewley at a team event not long after Ling, and we were saying, like, I sort of said to him, I didn't, because we hadn't seen each other a long time, and he's talking about this Arenacross, and I was like, I don't know. Like, for me personally, I've done the straight with him. I felt it, the crashes, I've felt the pain. I don't really want to start my season like that. But he was well up for it, to be fair. I thought great, and then I told him about me riding a speedway bike, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I race National League. He's racing that." And we was having a good old chat, and then next thing you know, we was trying to. It never happened, but next thing you know, we was like organising like a full on week. I think he said, "Come up to him, and we'll just ride bikes all day." And I'm thinking all week, and I'm thinking, I got work.
I say he's all there with the Monster Energy cap. He's the most sponsored rider in the pro for sure.
Yeah, we've got some good memories. I mean, when we used to ride Haverig back in 2015, that was when the British Youth BYMX. That was mega. That was really, really good then. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I mean, you almost answered my next question was going to be like, you know, what your thoughts on Arenacross. I mean, it was quite entertaining to see Dan hit the gate in his first attempt. I was like, okay, well, he's trying to go a little bit too early there.
He's a bit too eager. I would love to do it, but I think you have to commit earlier on into the off season. So I have a bit of time off after the last round. And I think you have to commit a little bit more. Maybe for me personally, ride a 450 a little bit more. I don't really ride a 450, but to just commit to be at a competitive level, like against, you got Wilson in that'd be my group. Will it'd be the pro class? So yeah, I'd be all right, but it's a big commitment. You can't really focus on the British Championship when it's a complete different ball game, really. And I sort of mentioned it earlier on in the year, but obviously now we're fully focused on the British Championship because don't want to bite off too much and we can't chew it. The team are doing the best they can just to get me to the British Championship. So, at the end of the day, we'll just take one as it comes. But you never say no, like Speedway, motocross, Arenacross.
What else we got? A bit of flat track. Get you some flat
I might
track.
speak to my mate Ryan. We'll speak to Ryan Vickers and we'll get on the MotoGP as well. Or BSB.
I reckon we should see how many different races you can do in a year. How many different sports? Let's sign you up for the lot.
Yeah, mountain bike. I'll do downhill mountain bike race. I'd do anything with 2 wheels. Unfortunately, that's my problem, and I can't. And I struggle to say no. But we're learning. I'm learning. I'm like, no, I can't do that. I can't.
Do you know what? And that is a part of maturing as a as a rider and as a person. Like sometimes it is what you say no to, isn't it, that makes a difference.
Yeah, unfortunately, when you're a yes man and I've only sort of learned this, like when you're a yes man, oh yeah, I can do that, and it sounds so good at the time, but when you really think about it, or it's approaching that week, you're like, oh god, like I was going to Landrake this year, and obviously I weren't feeling great. And I was in hospital, and then I raced there. And then that Wednesday, I was at Kings Lynn Racing Speedway, and all I was thinking about on Sunday night was the next race at Speedway. I'm thinking, how am I going to ride? Like, I don't feel that good either. Like, I managed to race motocross. I've done really well at Landrake, but like, that's all I could have. And then like, I wish at some points I never took so much on. But yeah, like now it's right. I need to figure out what the plan is first. What's the main objective of the year, and me as a person, and then if that sort of diverts off, I'm like, nah, we'll just sort of leave it at that for now. So it's kind of a bit of a character building, I guess.
you know what? You have to go through it though to understand it, don't you? That's the
Been
thing.
through it, yeah. You've got to
You know
go
what I
through
mean?
it, yeah.
You've
You've
had
got to
that
do
year.
it. You've got to be a part of it, and you've got to learn your own lessons. Unfortunately, sound like my dad, really.
You're an old sage now. That's the thing. You know,
I'm
you're getting
25
old.
this year. I'm
Exactly,
25
getting
this
old.
year. I know.
Well,
I know.
what a pup.
Yeah,
So, I mean, GP's coming to Fox Hills as well. I mean, that's
I
another
know.
thing happening this year. I mean, are you tempted to also
I think I see a comment on Instagram, I think, or some platform from Tommy Sell saying that I think it was, or was it his podcast, something to do with if Fox Hills, if you could do your own, like I'm British, if I could do a British Grand Prix in my own class as a wild card, but obviously I'm aged out.
Yeah.
But if you could jump into that class for that just one wild card meeting, then I think they'll fill the gates, and I think I would do it. But for me personally, I'd have to jump up to the 450 class because of my age, and it's just where that's a prime example of saying no. I'm okay. I'd love to. I'd love to do it, but as a prime example for me to say no, that's just too much. If we go 250 and do it, and they let us ride, then obviously they're not going to. But yeah, also we was thinking about doing the Dutch Masters, but they clash with some of the British Championship dates. They actually allow me to ride at my age in 250 class, so I was thinking about doing that. But two of the rounds out of the three, I think it is, or two out of the four clash. So we was like, oh no, we can't really do that championship, but. That would be nice to do with Fox Hills, but like, I'm excited to see what it's like. I'll probably still be there to have a little look, but that'd be pretty cool. I think if they can get it, if they can revamp the track and they sort out some things and make it safe, then I think that'd be good. I think that's the main thing. Make the track safe, because sometimes I honestly get a little bit out of control at Fox Hills sometimes on these new bikes, these fast bikes, but. I think that'd be all right. That'd be good.
Nice one. Yeah, I think it's going to be a cracking weekend. So, speaking of which, obviously a great lineup this weekend. So, really looking forward to seeing you out there as well. I mean, you got such a big class in the 450s. I mean,
yes.
I can't imagine what the super final is going to be like.
I can't wait for the super final right there. Yeah. We'll just take one race at a time on the weekend. I think the 250 group ain't so it's still fast. I think it's underrated, but because you've got, I have had a little glimpse of the lineup. We've got 2 Grand Prix riders, I think, and then the rest, I think it's anybody's. I believe. I feel like that's anybody's after the 2 Grand Prix riders. So it's up to them to ruin it for themselves. But we're going to be there behind them, whether we're 15 seconds behind them or more. But we'll be chasing them. There's a good amount of British Championship riders turned up. Musto, I think Brooks, and obviously me, Colmer. So there's a few other guys I think that I've seen on the list, and a few other European lads. But we'll sort of see how we get on. I mean, I don't know really what the goal is. The goal is just to finish the races and get a couple of gate drops, really.
Nice one. Just one thing that sprung up to mind I want to ask you was what's it like for you as a 250 rider in that super final? So you've got the start, and then you've got the likes of Fevre, Hurlings, Renault, all these big wigs chasing you down. What's it like for you at the 250 with these guys hunting you down like that?
If I can get from the start, because they let us go first, if I can get from the start to the bridge before Fevre passes me, we're having a good race.
That's why I asked you the question. That's the gold I want from commentary.
If I can get from the start,
brilliant.
And if they actually let us have 15 seconds or whatever, like the time amount, and I can get from the start to the bridge before Fevre passes me, then we're having a good race.
Brilliant. I mean, that's pretty much what I can see from my commentary point is when you get out the bomb hole towards the bridge. So if I see you in front of Fevre,
please, like
I'll be cheering for you. I'll be there. I'll be on the mic.
If I can get past the finish line and up that hill, and honestly, that'd be fun. But that is me being realistic. Like I could, if I can get a couple of laps in front of some of the 450 riders, then happy days. But with the track being going to be quite deep, and them boys are them boys are Grand Prix riders, so I ain't gonna take nothing away from them. If I can hold them up for a little bit, then we're happy days. I might let Brent Van Doninck through because he's number 32.
And you'll share the prize money. Yeah, that's right.
As long as he gives me 10%.
Have you ever had any of them like brutally take you out, give you a bit of an elbow? Any savage moves?
Make me laugh again. I normally just take myself. To be fair, like Hawkstone's pretty. I think it's a really, really good track. I think, I've had a couple of problems where they've made a few little like changes, and that you try jump the single to single, like two doubles or whatever, you kind of get a little bit off balance. But I think it's pretty sound. Like, I mean, when them 450 boys are coming through, they know what it's like. They're not gonna. We're no competition compared to Hurlins, Federer, and all Cade Wolf. So, if they can't pass me clean, then I'll probably be the one having to say something, because we're two different levels of riders here. If you can't pass, I'm not going to get in your way, but we'll sort of see how we go. So I've never really had a little tussle with him. But if they don't pass me by the bridge, then race on.
Like it.
Yeah. Yeah, race is on. If they can't pass me before the bridge on the first lap in the super final, then we're game on. We're going.
Make yourself super wide.
Yeah. But that's kind of how that race is, really. It's a bit of a mixed up one, but I think it's good, because if you are like Valan, is it like he had a really good super final last year, and that just shows the level of riders, level of races we could be if we just progressed a bit more. But like for instance, if we, I think he finished like third or second behind Federer last year.
It was
So like
behind Coldenhoff. Yeah, he had Jonas and Federer right up his ass. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So that's kind of how we, that's the level I want to aim to be. But we're not going to take baby steps. So if we can just hold on the position for as much as we can in the finals, then we'll be happy. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Happy days.
Nice one. Well, thanks so much for joining. Anything more there, Paul, you want to ask?
No, I'm happy. I've had my Speedway question answered.
Yeah, Speedway. Unfortunately, Paul, the Speedway is just on hold for the year. I've had the conversations with the right people, and at the moment, they understand my life and everything going on, and my race and motocross. They see this, and they're quite happy for me just to put it on the back burner for now. I've still got all my bikes and all my gear and everything, but at the moment we're just focused on motocross at the moment, and try to elevate the team and myself. Keep the confidence rolling, and hopefully we'll have some good meetings this year.
No, fingers crossed for you. Yeah, that's superb. So yeah, thanks so much for helping us. Any messages you want to give out? Any thanks to sponsors, people like that, or anything to the fans?
Yeah, like to be honest with you, like the whole team, Dave, Sean, Sam, and his dad Mark Yates, them boys they're working together, and they're putting this team together, and you don't realise that. Obviously, Sam's come from a level of Revo team like Husqvarna, so like his knowledge, his experience is going to help me and the team come through. So we've got to respect that, and I do. And everything hopefully is going to be a really good year learning. So them boys, them four lads, like I'm really, really happy with, and obviously my family are they know how it is. So we've just got a small net of people, and fingers crossed, we want to get people on board, but we aren't a massive team. So it's one of them, you've got to have passion towards my racing and motocross to be on board. So fingers crossed we get racing this weekend, and maybe we can get a few more sponsors onto the team. We do a great job at advertising, and the bikes always look incredible, which I love. So, fingers crossed it's going all to the race team and trying to get me out riding a little bit more so I can get out of this high vis. But yeah, no, really, really happy. The dealership down at Taunton, Total Triumph, Craig, sorted out me a really good deal with some bikes this year as well. So I can't thank him enough. He's doing the best he can do, and I really, really appreciate that. So yeah, we've got a good little team going, so I'm happy.
Nice one. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Calum Mitchell. And yeah, we'll wish you the best. And I'm sure the fans out there will cheer you on, especially if you're still ahead of Federer by the bridge. So that's pretty awesome.
You got to cheer me on. Yeah,
Get behind you. I'll lead the cheers from the mic.
thank you.
Cheers,
Thanks,
Callum.
Calum Mitchell. Speak to you again. That's great.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Bye-bye.
Yeah, massive thanks to Calum for joining us there. And always good value speaking to Calum Mitchell. So yeah, superb to see him in such good spirits, and he should be. He had such a great finish to the British Championship last year. So absolutely superb there. So great to have him on the All British Motocross podcast, and yeah, I'm sure many of you will cheer him on. And we'll just watch for where he is at the end of that, at the start of that super final. That's one of the best lines of this podcast yet. So Paolo, we are talking two predictions, top 5.
I'm still toying with it. I'm still stuck.
Well, that means you've got to go first then, because now I might influence you with my picks.
Who went first last time? I've completely forgot already.
You did.
I did. So you've got to go first.
Yeah. Okay.
I've pretty much got it. I'm
okay. Just doubting yourself. I mean, yeah, this is obviously
okay.
As always, no insult to any riders we've left off. We really are just trying to pick names out from a hat here because it is so competitive. But I think MX2, I think I'm pretty well good with it. So I am going to say our friend Calum for 5th overall, number 32. Calum Mitchell, 5th overall for the second year in a row, I would say.
Okay. So, do you know what? Just because I spoke to Craig Chamberlain this morning and he was so pumped, he's so upbeat, and Joel was in the background as well, and they just said they're so excited for it. So I've gone Joel Rizzi.
Cool. Yeah, I mean,
I could be easily swayed. You only have to just say hello to me, and I'll add you in there.
There's no doubt he's got the ability. You know, such a rider. I mean,
definitely
you go back into his EMX history. You know, in 2020 he was 2nd overall to Liam Everts, and they shared race wins and first places. You know, he was right up there in amongst them. I mean, it's just unbelievable how you know he's been fighting there. Kai de Wolf was in that race as well, further back. So you know he was up there as a kid, and you know it's just well, yeah, we all know he can do it. So okay, so you've got Mr. Rizzi in 5th place. I'm going to go with Ben Musto for 4th.
Okay, so you got Musto for 4th. Hold on, I need to write yours down here. So you've got Ben Musto for 4th. Okay, yeah, good shout. Obviously, he was good last year. Solid season, wasn't it? I've gone for Joe Brooks. I've got a big, yeah. I think it's going to be a massive, massive year for Joe. Do you think he come into the season really, really late? You know, with a lot of time out, and to do what he did, you know, when everybody had almost half a season pretty much on him, and didn't they? So yeah. I think now with a winter under his belt, I think he's going to come in quite hot.
Yeah, I think, you know, he's one of like 3 or 4 Brits that I'm really excited to see in EMX competition this year. If we can get him, if we can get Joe, Billy, and Ben Musto up towards the front in EMX 250, I will be very, very excited about the future of British motocross. You know, those 3 kids in particular. You got Jamie Keith in there as well, of course. That's another one, you know, who's making his debut here this weekend in the MX2 class. You know, we've got some. They're just at this point of hope now. You know, where we could think if they could deliver some good EMX 250 results, get dug in, they could be Grand Prix riders in years to come. So it's just and for me personally, obviously, you know, he's fairly local to me, but I see the qualities in Ben Musto of just digging in, grinding out results. That's what gets him to 4th overall at Hawkstone International, and places like that. So that's why I've gone with Ben. But yeah, Joe started to put 2 races together in one day last year, which was fantastic. I know that was something that was a chip on his shoulder, yeah, I hope he keeps that chip on his shoulder, because that's what drives the very best people forward always. So we'll see. So you've gone with Mr. Brooks for 4th. Yeah. I am going to go with Matthijs van Aan 3rd place.
Okay.
I think he's going to try a little bit too hard and make a mistake. That's what my thought is. I think he's going to try to stay with or beat Langenfelder, and he's just going to make enough of a mistake to drop him behind Wolfort. I think that's what's going to happen. I was giving away my next pick, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I've gone Musto for 3rd. I you know, similar to to Joe Brooks, I just think Ben Musto's in for a stunning season. As we said, it's straight out of taking exams to the track. Like he was a school kid last year. Now maybe it's one of them, isn't it? Because as we said, spoke about with Calum, like being a full-time rider didn't work for Calum. You took the pressure off, and he become a different rider. As we spoke about, he's so chilled out, and so But I don't know. I get a feeling with Ben. I just think that sort of feeling that I don't know that he belongs up there is really strong in him, and I think he's gonna be really, really good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Fair play. Yeah, that's brave. So that means you're leaving one of the Europeans out. So interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to go with Wolvort for second. Jens Wolvort. He's very good in the sand, and I think he should have a good solid day. The breakdown at Manzova worries me, but hopefully he'll be a bit kinder on the motor around Hawkstone Park. There's no reason that he will be kind on the motor. That's not logical at all. But yeah, I think he's just good in the sand.
Okay. Well, I've gone for world champ as second. Simon Langenfelder, second, mate. Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I'll explain that when we get to who's first.
Okay, well, I have gone with Langenfelder taking the win. I just think he's too strong for the rest of them.
Okay.
Even for the one you're going to pick.
I've got Mattis Valan. He was unreal last year. He's been good pre-season. There's something about that guy that I just think he's going to be so fast, like he was last year. And I just think, and I think Langenfelder's not got as much to prove. Do you know what I mean? Like if it comes to hanging it out for the win, Langenfelder's got a world title under his belt. I think Valan's like he will want to beat him, whereas I think Langenfelder's like I'm in for a long season. So I think from that perspective, yeah.
See how he raced at Manzova, how hard he pushed to get past Lata. I do feel like it's a bit of he's an entirely different character to Hayden Deegan, but one big thing about Deegan this year is that he just wants to dominate that class before he moves up to 450. And I think that is how Langenfelder approaches this year. I think he just wants to be the king, see off all comers. He's got Sasha talked about. Liam Everts has got the surname he's always been talked about. And I think Langenfelder will just say, I'm the king of this castle and try and wipe the floor with everybody this season. And I just see how hard he raced Lata. He did not want to let anybody get in front of him. So, yeah, I see where you're coming from. But I think there's so much noise being made about all the riders that have moved up to MXGP. It's almost like Langenfelder saying, did you forget about me? And I just think he's gonna push all through the year. I think he's gonna try and dominate the class. Whether he'll be successful or not, I don't know. But I wouldn't surprise me if he won at least 60% of the GPs this year. But there we go.
Interesting. That has made it it was really tricky. That top five,
really nice and different.
Really tricky.
I like how different we are there.
Well, we've been pretty different, really, on both. To be fair, So no, it's very different on that one. Obviously, I don't know much about Wolver, to be fair, but there's your GP knowledge coming in there. But I've always got, if I can creep as many bricks in there as I can, I will, and I've kept the faith.
Wolver's best GP result was in the deep mud of Portugal, like he got a top 5, and so that really shows that you can sort of grind it out. His team boss is a bit of a character, and they're not on the OAT list, and I know he's going to nag me to still get them on behind the gate. He's definitely one of those characters that pushes his rider. So we'll see what you can do. But he's very underrated, I think. But there we go.
All I'd say, any team owners that want to get on behind the gate, don't try and bribe Ben with Nice biscuits. It won't work. Other biscuits are available, but not them ones.
You got the OAT list. I've got to cover you then. Right, so that's MX2, and thanks to both of our guests there, Brent Van Doninck and Calum Mitchell. There is one more class, of course, this weekend. Two-stroke fans will enjoy the sounds and smells of the EMX 125 category, and this one is the toughest prediction of them all, Paul. I mean, yeah, a crazy array of talent. Lots of kids coming up from Big Wheel 85s. It's overstacked. There are 4 reserve riders on my entry list here in front of me. So it's going to be a full grid, and it's going to smell and sound incredible. So, yeah, quite a stacked lineup. I think, what did I say to you earlier? 9 riders that got into the points last year are back in this class. That's all. You know, a lot of them have moved up, and some have moved up to MX2, of course, but a lot of kids have come into this class this year from the smaller bikes. So, yeah, I feel it's pretty wide open, and it's going to be exciting because these kids will lay it on the line for sure to prove
You know
themselves.
what? And this is the thing, and this is what I'm looking forward to, the British 125 Championship, because we had some new stars emerge last year for definite. I think even more so this year, because there was a few of the riders that were at the sharp end of the 125s last year that we already sort of knew about. Whereas I think there's going to be some real fresh names coming through. New heroes, little heroes are going to emerge from this. And
Yeah.
I think that's super exciting. And yeah, I think why it's been so successful and why it works really with the Hawkstone International as well. Yeah. What can you say, really, without listing literally every kid on there, because a lot of these kids, we might not have seen them, race, or we might not have seen them at different events. So, we're coming into a lot of this sort of fairly fresh. So, a lot of, both our predictions are based on probably who we have seen already get results and get headlines. So, yeah, it's going to be tricky. I'm looking forward to seeing what your top 5, to be fair.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, I mean, just to run through, I mean, do you want to go straight to the predictions then, or are we? I think we better, hadn't we? Because there's we're getting some time onto this podcast now with the 2 interviews as well. So,
Okay,
okay,
let's do this.
yeah, we'll talk about the riders as we go through. I mean, I am going to go 5th overall. I'll go first if you want.
Okay.
5th overall, I'm going to put as Harley Marjak, S Briggs Commercials and JMR Foundation Yamaha. He has been a solid rider all the way through. I've seen him from 65cc upwards, and he's got talent, that kid, and he can take the pressure. He can ride when he needs to. He can deliver the results when he needs to. So, for my mind, Harley Marjak's a kid with a very bright future, and it's his first big ride in the 125. So that's why I'm not putting him any higher. But I think he can grind out a good 5th place overall, no problem at all.
Do you know what? That's really interesting, because that's who I've got as 5th.
Excellent. Yeah. He's one that's caught my eye. Going through the ranks, not just because his name's difficult to pronounce, but also, he's there as we're all going to learn how to say his name, because I think he's going to be if he carries on the form, and obviously this is the big question mark now, can these kids carry through being the top kiddie in their class when it's limited age groups to now becoming a potential professional? This is the big time when that they do prove it to the teams that they can get there, and I think Harley is so far, from what he's shown me so far, I think he's got the minerals.
Okay, interesting. Right, 4th. Who's your 4th pick?
4th, partially influenced just because I find him hilarious. He's such a great interview, and he's a real character, and he's got good talent in the sand. And that's the number 11, my old lucky number, Alfie Geddes Green. I think will be 4th overall. He's got a bit more experience under his belt than some of the other kids in this class. And I'll give him the sponsors shout out: RAS, Sintol, Ride, Yes Goggles, Armor Vision, Tinklers, Yamaha. So yeah, he was quick last year, and yeah, I think he's got the sort of character that could see him stick around.
Okay, I've gone for Joel Winstanley Dawson. He's been riding in the winter at the Preston Docks meetings already. He's got gate dropped under his belt. Obviously, had a storming career all the way through the youth ranks. I think he's going to be pretty good on a 125 straight away.
Yeah, strong boy. Always looked too big for the bikes underneath him, going through the ranks. And yeah, obviously great heritage there with the Winstanley family as well. So yeah, they will know which direction to point him in. And yeah, I've got high hopes for Joel. Just be interesting to see how he gets on in this company. But yeah, I think for sure he's one to watch.
Cool. 3rd.
Third.
Yeah.
You going to go or?
Well, I'll go. I'm going to go just because you've already named him. So Alfie Geddes Green.
Okay.
Just a great rider. Won the Eastern Centre Junior Championship, as in adult juniors, like old school expert and juniors. But he was up there. He was really good. That was, that is no mean feat to do that either, because it is so tough over there in the Eastern Centre. And I think that type of racing will stand him in good stead. Good tracks over there. So yeah, I think Alfie's in for a good year.
Nice one. Well, I've gone with the interloper. I've gone with the Belgian, Seth Priem, number 32. Maybe to carry the theme of 32, which is the whole theme going through this podcast. If you count them back, I reckon this is podcast number 32 as well. If that's the case, that would be too spooky. But anyway, either way, Seth Priem, his father was a GP rider. The good old Belgian sand technique. If he's in practicing in Belgium, he knows Lommel. CTM Motorhomes Priem MX Gas. He was fourth in the first race of this class last year, but then had bad luck in the following two races to be 14th overall. So I think that he's got more speed than his past results have shown. I can see him breaking up the Brits on the podium.
This is where your GP, look at this, the GP's knowledge gets pulled out of the back.
Reading the results.
Yeah. I've gone, my second is Christopher Brindley, because he was on the fringes. We had a solid sort of top five last year, and he was always on the fringes, consistent all the way through. And I think it's going to be a big year for him.
Yeah, he was just on the fringe of the top 20 at this race last year, but he came on leaps and bounds through the year. DBMX, KTM as well. Big shout out to Sean McKenzie, Dirtbox Motocross, my mate there in Gloucester, who constantly reminds me that I owe his entire career to him, because he gave my number to Gareth Hockey to commentate on the British Championship 5 years ago. So he keeps on reminding me of that. But yeah, Sean, obviously Christopher Brindley, local to me. Forest Press is another sponsor for him, and he did come on leaps and bounds. You're right. I haven't got him in my top 5. I don't know why. I apologise. But yeah, that's just how it's gone. But Brindley has been really good all last year, and at Monster Mountain as well, he was particularly fast. So yeah, fingers crossed. He has a good one. But yeah, that's a good shout, and I haven't got him anywhere. Sorry, sorry, Chris. Sorry, Sean. Sorry, everybody.
Little Axo flashback. I used to sell Axo. I was the one of the last UK people to sell Axo in the UK, and I used to sell Axo kit bags to Sean McKenzie.
Wow.
Good Christmas present they were. They were a bargain. Absolute bargain.
I reckon I might have one. I might have one of his old ones. He gave me a kit bag.
Did he?
Yeah, I might even have that. I'll have to check what brand it is now. I can't remember it. Anyway, there you go. Right, okay. Overall winner, I've gone with number 548, Hayden Stack.
Okay. Who was your second?
Sorry, my mistake. Second, I've gone with 357, Finley Pickering.
Okay.
He's definitely he got injured at the end of 24, I think, quite famously, because it was at the Coup de l'Avenir, or one of the team championships there, and he rode his heart out whilst injured to get some scores on the board, and he really did improve leaps and bounds when he returned to racing last year in the British Championship. So yeah, I think with a solid winter behind him, Finley Pickering. I've just got Yamaha next to his name, no sponsors, but for me, I think he's one to watch.
Okay, Finley Pickering is your second. You've gone Hayden Stack, did you say, as your first place?
Rapid starter, determined rider, super aggressive, loves the sand. He's just the standout in this lineup for me. I think I'd be very surprised if Hayden doesn't win all 3 races.
Cool. Well, backing up, I've gone for Hayden Stack as well. Like you said, in terms of his 2025 results and pedigree, then it's difficult to not pick Hayden Stack because he was so good last year. I think it's going to be a standout year for him for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's there might be a bit of pressure on him because he's such an obvious favourite. But we'll see. That's the sort of pressure you got to deal with. And we'll see how he does cope with it. But he's won championships all the way through his youth career, and like I said before, now is the time when it's the proof of the pudding now, whether it's going to be a pro career or not, really. So yeah, I think Hayden's a good bet for that, but we'll see. We never know.
And if you didn't make the top 5, me and Ben often get it completely wrong, so don't worry about it at all.
It's so weird seeing the lineups. I mean, you got like Jensen Severn, Alfie Heron, the Irish kid. They could do well. They've always shone towards the top 5 in the classes coming through. You got Chad Prince, obviously, you know, Neil Prince's son there, on the number 211. He's now on a Yamaha. Mason Jones, the Welsh kid, has been quick coming through the ranks. Chase Panther, he won some races at the Compass Cup. So yeah, he certainly is a quick lad as well. Oakley Kettle has been up there for quite some time now. Leo Wilson, another one coming through the ranks. Elvis Totney, Stan the Man Siebert. I remember Stan being literally like knee high to a grasshopper on a little 65, and now he's on a 125. That's just mad. So yeah, there's all these riders here, and you never know. You never know who might spring up. I would fully expect a rider that neither of us have picked to get in this top 5 this weekend, but we'll see how it goes.
And that is what is exciting about it, to be fair, and about the 125s for this year. This year, more so than any other year, you know, more so than last year, because we didn't, in terms of the British, just because there is so many talented kids coming through, you know, from different championships, you know, that are run around the country. You know, they're sort of all pitched into this 125 class, and yeah, tons of talent. Super exciting. Can't wait for it. Ticket wise, Hawkstone International, everything is pretty much on the cash on the gate, isn't it, really, for that one? So all ticket information will be up on the website and stuff like that, and timetable and all of that. Don't think there is a live stream as we know of as yet, but they haven't said there isn't properly, but they haven't said there is, so you never know. But if there is, we will put it out. But yeah,
I mean, definitely no live stream. That's definitely the case. Practice starts at 9 o'clock for the 125s. So the first bike's on track at 9 o'clock. MX2's 9:35 and MX1 at 15. And then the races, 10:50 gate drop time for the 125s. 12 o'clock MX2s, 12:35 for MX1s. And then all the way through to the super final, 3 EMX 125 races. So there are 3 motos for the kids, and then you've got the MX2, MX1, and of course they're the super final at the end of the day. If you want my top tip as a 25-year plus spectator at this event, suddenly getting relegated to the commentary tower, promoted. Get to the top of that hill at some point. Because it's something else. You can get right to the top of that hill, trackside, they fly right past your nose. It's an experience you will never, ever forget. So yeah, get yourselves up there. Hawkstone Park International is going to be superb. We'll see you down there. Give me a shout. And shout dirt hub at me.
no biscuits.
No biscuits. But, of course, it's not the only thing this weekend. We have also got Arenacross Belfast coming up Friday night, Saturday night. Again, this looks like it's going to be another juicy encounter, because the first night in Birmingham with this new schedule was spectacular. Really good racing all the way through.
Yeah, and I have to say my predictions are looking pretty bloody good as well. So hopefully the form book continues as it was, because, I'm doing all right here. Let's be fair, it's going to be very difficult for anybody to topple Dean Wilson, but you never know.
They tried their best. John Adamson gave him one hell of an elbow in the head-to-head, so it was absolutely amazing. And Jack Brunel, they went across the line like millimeters apart in the 3-person head-to-head final. So yeah, it's the new format has been. I've been interviewing people about it all week, and they've been universally pretty happy with it. Some saying it's a little bit hectic and not much rest, especially for the mechanics. Yeah, they've really got a lot of work to do. But three main event races for the pro class in amongst the pro ams and the kids races as well. So yeah, pretty hectic. All the head-to-heads. So the head-to-heads now actually feature the top guys as well. You know, it used to be if you didn't qualify, then you've got to go head-to-heads. But now everybody, including Wilson, Brunel, Woodcock, all the guys are in those head-to-heads. So that's pretty smart. And then just to add one more spin to it, the final race is a reverse grid from the second race results. So the winner of race 2 goes second row, at the back, and of course that was Dean Wilson. So it's spectacular to see those guys come through the pack. But really, really interesting 2 nights of racing ahead. It's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah, I like that, the reverse grid. I like that. That's a good shout out. That makes it.
Yeah, I mean, some riders didn't like it, some riders did. I think Martin Barr said he had a bit of bad luck in the second race, so it quite suited him that he got the reverse grid for the last one. But yeah, for sure, Martin's going to get loudly cheered. And news as well for Belfast fans and home fans there is that James Mackerel, who got hurt before Birmingham and couldn't ride, is going to be back in Belfast. So there will be 2 Northern Irish riders in the pro lineup at least.
Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting to see. Standings wise, obviously Dylan Wilson is at the top, but we've got 2 nights of racing. Jack Brunel, Dylan Woodcock locked together on 58 each, and then Adam Chatfield and Eddie J. Wade are both on 50 points, as well in 4th and 5th. Matt Bayliss 48, Stephen Clark, who had a good one, is on 46. So, yeah, you probably say that all the way down to Stephen Clark have got a chance of a podium. We've only 1 round out of the 3 in. So, yeah, it could be quite interesting. And if John Adamson can pull a couple of starts like that, he could put himself in the mix too.
Yeah, got a fantastic voice message from John Adamson. Just the guy's a nutcase. I love it. But he says carnage seems to follow him around. I think he causes it. But yeah, I mean, he's up there making it happen. So yeah, pretty sweet. The lineup doesn't look as exciting maybe as previous years. You haven't got any of the Frenchies in there. Obviously, Tommy and Conrad are focusing on the British Championship motocross. But you got to say that the lineup that are there, they all give their best. They put on a great show. Wilson is spectacular to watch. Incredible to see a rider of that caliber there, and he doesn't usually get a good start. So there's often some fantastic passing to be seen as well.
Cool, and then you've got the Pro-Am as well. Louis Brooks then leading the standings from Josh Greedy and Nev Bradshaw. But you've got quite a good bunch behind them. Harry Lee, Callum McCall, Lewis Spratt, Carl McNichol, Speedway Ace, Dan Bewley's in there as well. So, yeah, that's Pro-Am racing is always exciting.
And you've got such a mix of bikes as well. Sorry to cut in, but you've got literally every form of bike you could probably think of in there. You've got 125 and 250 2-strokes, 250, 450 4-strokes, Stark Vargs. All we need is someone to rock up on a 500 CR, and we've got the whole range of machinery in there. But yeah, it's I don't think anyone fancies that. But it's a really good class to watch. Great, lots of fun.
Don't put that past Ned Bradshaw, because he rode 500 CR Honda at the Airborne Gunner Supercross.
Yeah, well, I mean,
yeah, don't put it past him.
His Yamaha sounded sweet in Birmingham. Wow, that's a crisp sounding bike. He's got that one absolutely pucker. So yeah, really, really sweet to see, and a nice guy as well. We had a quick chat in the paddock. Really cool.
Cool. And then we've got the AX Super Mini stands at the moment. John Slade winning that from Cameron Berry and Mason Stadden. The minis, you've got Blake Marks Bracey at the moment on max points, Finley Pope second, and Preston Killeran in third. Then I'm just looking at, we've got the E-Mini class then. Harley Patel, he's my little Revy racer from back in the day. Oliver Foston, also one of them, and Maddox Nifton, top 3. And then we've got Cooper Swan then in 4th there. Elias Westwicker, give Elias... I'm going to give them all a shout, because they're all little racers from back in my day. Harley Patel leads ahead of Oliver Foston, Maddox Nifton 3rd, Cooper Swan 4th, Elias Westwick 5th, Finley Shipton in 6th, Theo Hancock 7th, Ollie Smiley in 8th, Oscar Wilde 9th, Grayson Blake Martin 10th, Little Noah Barr 11th, Zach McCorkell 12th, and Zach Elliott 13th. That will be an exciting race, I can tell you. There will be a lot of eventful race action from them lot.
I was going to say in the minis and the E-Mini class, it applies as well. There's lots of riders on a similar pace. So it's not like, I mean, the Super Minis, John Slade is just untouchable. But yeah, for the rest of those races, it's really close at the sharp end. So you could see multiple winners. They got 4 races over the weekend. So yeah, you could see different race winners across all 4 races in both of those classes. Good.
Cool. Mate, I think this has been our longest ever pod.
Well, I hope that it's been enjoyable for everyone. Great to speak to Brent Van Doninck and to Calum Mitchell as well, our Team 32 members. All getting stuck in. But yeah, brilliant. Yes, this is where the season starts. And we've got a good guest lined up for next week as well. Hawkstone review. So we'll review all the races, and then we're going to work our way to the British Championship non-stop. One a week we'll have here on the All British Motocross Podcast. We'll have a 125cc British Championship build-up, an MX2 and an MX1 as we get closer to the British Championship. So we'll be making sure that we deliver the coverage to you here on Dirt Hub. Any partners want to come on board, direct message Mr. Uten, and we'll get things moving.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for everyone for the support. And big thanks to all the partners on our website. We can do it without you guys. So yeah, huge thanks to you guys. If you do want to come on board, we've got plenty of opportunities to be a partner with us and get on board and support British Motocross.
Absolutely. Well, thanks to everybody for listening to us both, and enjoy yourself if you go into either Belfast and or Hawkstone, and if you're just going out riding, then have a great time, and speak to you next time. All the best. Thanks, Paul.
See you soon.
See you out there.